Start, Rob?
Hello, 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 hello.
Test. All right, I'm going to start now. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm coming to you live from Monte Street in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. We have a great show for you. This is the final day, so you'll see the quarterfinals, semifinals, and the final game. Some of North America's best players are now in today's, so it should be exciting, should be interesting. Host Monte Carlo, Ross Tomasino. Referees today will be Kevin Patrick, Larry LaSalle. Commentators are Dave Burney from BC and Dave Putty from Ontario.
Have him call Gord.
Now, this is going to be very interesting. I don't think you'll have seen quality streaming such as this, and what you'll see during the games, in between the games, will be interesting. So let us get started. Our players are Alan Whitfield and Dean Furry on this table, and they may begin.
Yes, thank you very much, Gord. Good morning, everybody, and bienvenue, mes amis.
Très bien, très bien. This is Dave. This is Dave and Dave from live streaming from Mississauga, and we're ready to go. Dean Fury is breaking off. And just as we get started here, I'd like to give a shout out to our first contact from through the internet. Our friend Roland Colburn has sent us a good morning. And Roland, I'm sure you're sitting there in your basement practicing away while you're watching this. We're in the early stages here of the safety battle as we start up this match.
Yeah, we're playing best of 7, race to 4. And that will be the same format leading up to the final. Ooh. Yeah, you don't want to give Alan any points.
No. So, David, who do you think this one goes to? Who's the favorite
in this match or the tournament in general?
This match. Let's start there.
Alan's been playing really well. him. I've seen a lot of him because he's been on the TV tables.
Yes, just warming up their arms here. Neither one of them will step out too much early on, but
Yeah, but in Dean's defense, you know, you have to beat some good players to be engaged here.
we're just working out a couple of technical things here. Sounds like Dave Burney has been drinking this morning, but he really hasn't.
Not at all. I wasn't the ones that finished off the taps last night, so...
We're not sure how it sounds out there, but our headsets are slowing things down.
Yeah. I kid you not, I'm here, able, ready, and willing to commentate on some great snooker action today.
Alan got a great carom down there in the brown. That saved him from having that cue ball come all the way back up. And Dean may actually be in a snooker here.
Yeah, he's forcing him to take on a red. Maybe that he didn't want to.
We're just hearing in from a few people through the internet that the sound is good on the receiving end.
Well, that's good.
It's just on our headsets that we're getting the slowdown. So that brings to a point that if you do what sort of a ruling question or a procedure question on the table, a scoring question, anything like that, you please send us a message through the internet, through Facebook.
We're not on Facebook, we're actually on YouTube.
Oh, we're on YouTube. My apologies.
It's on Snooker Canada.
So send us a message through YouTube and we'll get to you as quickly as we can.
And also let us know where you're tuning in from. Snooker's a global game and we love hearing all our fans. I actually got a gentleman that emailed me earlier this morning from Northern Ireland.
Well, Roland's not from that far away. He's actually just from Kingston. He's a great halfway spot for when we drive up to Montreal. We'll stop in for a cup of coffee and a game of snooker. So good morning, Roland.
Yeah, this is the first time I've actually seen Dean on the table. I like his little shimmy shimmy shake when he gets down on the shot and then gets down to the business. But neither gentleman has pocketed a ball yet. It is early and it's the early morning matches, so probably both pairs just feeling the table out. As our crack team here at Monte Carlo Billiards is probably giving it a nice brush and iron before Championship Sunday. The Chinese snooker.
Well, he's played that so that Dean can't get to the three reds over the yellow part of the green pocket there. This is the chess match that occurs at the beginning of every frame. Dean would be looking just to touch into the second red ball coming back. Just right. Almost. It's another 4-point foul. So still no reds made, but Alan has an 8-point lead.
And now he has options. You as a well done referee,
Yeah.
Mr. Putty, he has options here, correct? Alan
Yes.
did.
He could put Dean back But the point there is that it would hardly make sense. Dean will have marked on it in his mind on the rail where to hit that and the speed he needs to hit it. So the likelihood of him burying the cue ball into the pack there is much higher the second time around. And he did have a shot. He had a makeable shot in the green corner. Dean looks a little jumpy this morning. Hasn't settled into his usual game.
Yeah, maybe we can ask our good friends, our lovely waitress over there, Daria. Maybe she can whip up some coffee for these guys. Get them to wake up a little bit.
Another good opportunity for Alan here.
Yeah, in the background there's Phil Snake and Renat Denka. They're getting started. I think deep in the background it's Lobsang Lama, and I think he's playing Fern Loyer. And our other quarterfinal match over there is Louis Vizikis against Alex Zhang. Alex Zhang was definitely came out of the gun yesterday against Floyd Ziegler.
He did. Alan missed a good opportunity there to get started. He missed a relatively easy brown, but this is early stages there. See, zip on the cue ball there.
It's interesting, Dean, and also last night's match, Dan, I noticed that they do wear glasses, but they don't have that traditional patent Dennis Taylor.
That's right.
Kind
yes. It's a nice soft touch there by Dean. Where the ball just gets to the pocket, drops in nicely. Easy control for the cue ball, and very low chance that you're going to miss that shot.
It's a good shot to see how long these tables are. These are the big boys who are playing on 6x12s. But there are a lot of people in this area that play on the 5x10s, David.
I haven't seen that many around. There are, like where I play, there is one 5x10. But most of the people that I play with are all in the 6x12s. And I'm trying to think in Brantford or Hamilton if there are any 5x12s more so than 5x10s more so than the 6x12s. But not aware of that many out this way. Maybe out on the West Coast.
Quite possibly. Because I think these 6x12 tables are pretty much the size of an apartment out in BC. And might fetch
one of your high-rise condos.
Yeah, 700 grand for that. So, but no, there's a lot more on the senior kind of circuit out there. They play on the 5x10s a lot. And it's interesting, the intimidation. You would think maybe 1 foot width and 2 feet wider or longer wouldn't be that bad, but some of these guys are pretty intimidated by it. So
look, you're a little concerned. Yeah, it's unfortunate. He hit that ball well.
yeah, sometimes when you're down on the shot, it means you're just willing it to go in, not willing the way.
and actually lost. I think it was 4-2 to Lopsy.
Yes.
So Dan is not actually playing Phil at this point. Roland had made a comment that he was going to play well against Phil, but that will have to be another time.
Yeah, in Dan's defense, I think he came out of the grade quite strong. But I think that fatigue caught up with him.
Oh, 8 hours of playing snooker at this level. It wears down your concentration and your energy. So Dan actually said he felt like he was falling asleep in between shots and things, like when he was sitting down, because he was that tired. So tough day when you have to play 8 hours.
There's our good friend Larry LaSalle, who's the roving referee.
I think Alan may have just caught a really bad break there. We'll know in a minute. I think, well, you can see the pink maybe. No. Yeah, had enough to make it.
Yeah, Alan was definitely in a tough match yesterday with John Evereckian.
Yes.
And it was billed to be a lot of fireworks, and it certainly didn't disappoint.
That one went the distance.
It did.
Yeah. 7th frame. It's a well played shot by Dean. Got a good carom out of the black for position on the pink.
Yeah, Dean's a local boy from the Toronto area.
Yeah.
He actually got here before we did into the room, so helps when you're a local boy.
He seems to have settled down a bit. It was a little bit of popping up and moving as he was striking the cue earlier in this frame, but
play on the circuit that they were informed they had to be check-in 4 hours before their match.
that's when he was a pro over in England.
Mm-hmm. Well, if we were across the pond, I'd call it a sitter.
Dean's come up to a 19-point lead here at this point, but it's
between frames. Or 40
That's a great
seconds.
shot by Alan. Puts the pressure on Dean right away to get a hit. Again, for those of you that may not have checked in with us yesterday, there is a 3-miss rule in play here, where if Dean were to miss these reds and not leave a shot that Alan would like to play next, Alan can choose to have him put back into exactly the same position, and he may put him back up to 3 times, so 4 potential snookers here. Alan has a fairly decent shot into the side with a position for the pink.
Yeah, it's interesting on those foul misses that they're not calling over our referee Larry LaSalle, but as Jim Jack was telling me yesterday, the big rule with the roving referee is they put unless they are asked to come over to the table. They don't invite themselves over.
Right. The players deal with the situations on the table themselves. Well, it seems to be having a little trouble here deciding what to do. Until he makes a decision as to whether to put him back or not, he has the right to look at that shot as much as he liked. If he said he was going to shoot, he can't change his mind.
Okay.
So while he was deciding whether that was a shot he wanted or not, he obviously hadn't declared, I'm going to play. So, but he also, therefore, he always had the chance to put Dean back in.
Could Alan come down to the cue ball, feather, get a feeling, but then pop up and go, no, I want to put you back?
As long as he doesn't declare, absolutely.
Okay.
This looks like it will hit. And Dean has left shots on. Now, because Dean hit that shot, Alan has to play. And he would play from there anyway. Pretty good position here to take a number of pinks.
Yeah, it's nice that he's got the pink on its spot. The black is way down in the bulk end, so it's pretty much out of commission as well, being on that bulk rail.
There's nothing wrong with taking 5 or 6 pinks here.
There's a shot coming right into your living room.
That's right.
Very nice pictures that we're getting provided by Rob. See, this would be a good break for a little idea I was thinking of. If we could get some big corporate sponsors that would maybe make a donation for every pink ball sunk. We make a donation to the breast cancer research.
For all of you with businesses out there, there's an opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Help out with the game, help out for a good cause. This is the last of the easier kind of reds.
So Alan would be trying to figure out an angle here where he can play a shot like he did last time to bring the cue ball back over to that side rail. And I think he has that angle to be able to do that. Might need a little bit of left-hand siding to make it very effective, but he's trying to get that ball back there. Might see if he can reach that without using the rest. I think he can. If we were to take 2 more pinks here, he would be 28 points up, and Dean would need a snooker and foul.
But with that 28 break, he stormed into a 48-34 lead. But as you said, there's still plenty of points on the table.
Yeah. Only 14-point lead. There's lots to play here. That's not going to work for Dean.
You know, a great feature, David, of people tuning in on YouTube and checking out the Snooker Canada page is when they subscribe to the page.
Yes.
They get automatic updates of when we go live for the semifinals and the finals, and also future events.
For future events as well. Yes.
So it's a great idea. You know, get you out of cutting the lawn or anything like that. Your bing's going off. You got to run inside because there's some great snooker action coming at you.
So Alan failed to get good position on any color from that red. So with the red frozen up on the rail, or almost frozen on the rail on the top end of the table, I think he's looking at angles to maybe get that cue ball tucked in behind the blue, maybe the brown, but to really put Dean under pressure. The 6 points that he might get from making the pink may not be as valuable as the safety that he might get by playing the snooker at the far end of the table.
I think that shows just a bit of experience there. Maybe a more novice player would be like, there's points. I can get 7 points. I'm going to pot a pink. I'm going to help out breast cancer. What's wrong with you?
He played it. It's a smart shot that he just played. Instead of playing something and moving all the balls down at the end of the table, he noticed the line between the red and the pink and just laid the cue ball over top of the green. Relatively easy hit what we might have called a baby snooker, right? But stopped Dean from being able to do anything punishing.
Is there a thing called a teenage snooker? Is that reckless and out of control?
You've seen me play. This doesn't look like a snooker, so it might be an opportunity.
Definite long one, that's for sure. Using all the real estate on the table.
Nicely struck, and what result does he get? Actually, that's good position. By playing the brown, gets a natural angle to come up. If he'd hit that lighter, he would have been in a good position for yellow, but he hit it through the line of position and missed the ball. Alan's left a half an opportunity here.
Yeah, frame number one's always a big one.
Yeah.
Just to make a statement, just be like, all right, I got one on the board, I'm into the game.
Dean is showing good restraint here. Not stepping out and trying shots that might get him in trouble. By being down 14 points here, Dean needs all of the colors to win. With just the pink, he would be up by 7 points. I think 7. So he needs them all, and Alan needs 3 balls. And that's a great shot, especially from over the house like he was. Very nice. And maybe not. That's unfortunate. It was a nice solid shot from Dean there. It's just these tables are quick. And they all know that.
Where's that coffee?
Yes.
But you know, if he had placed it there, it wouldn't be a foul, and
Right.
if they played on, they couldn't put it back.
That's right.
But I did hear someone say Alan, so I'm wondering if that was Dean or
Could have been.
Larry. Hopefully it's not one of our spectators, as there was a little issue yesterday that
Could have made a difference.
So we do encourage you all to come down to Monte Carlo Billiards and enjoy the great live snooker action. But remember, just keep quiet and observe.
So this is Alan's frame ball. He's certainly a favorite here as the blue and black are tied up. He's made that.
Have we lost Dean?
No, I'm thinking that they may be looking at the score. Because the score actually on our board is wrong. Dean actually does need a snooker.
All right, so the first.
So that's what they were doing. They're just conferring over what the accurate score was.
Yeah, we do encourage the players to keep their own scores. Sometimes computers can be a little temperamental. They might need their morning coffee as well. Dean concedes that frame to put the first mark on the board for Alan. He leads 1-0 in this best of 7. Race to 4 frames. Who's going to make it into the final 4? Just getting started here at Monte Carlo Billiards on Championship Sunday.
I think we just saw Alan step out for a bio break. We'll be right back. So neither one of them lit the table up there at the first frame, but they got their kind of feet on the floor and hands on the table, and I think we'll see them both step up to a little higher level here. But their safety play was good, and here's Alan just coming back to the table now.
Yeah, Mr. Boggs Diamond, we are live here. This is live as it's happening. Love to hear where you're tuning in from, Mr. Diamond. Great to have you on board this morning for Championship Sunday.
Whereabouts are you listening in from or watching in from? That's a good break off by Alan. Dean creates a bit of distance between the balls and plays safe. Beginning of every frame, there's always a period where the players jockey for position, play safe, or go for long shots. It's a great shot, Dean. That was the third option. In a situation like that, really the only ball that he might have left was the one that he was shooting.
Yeah, you might get the oh wows and all that from the crowd on those long, tough pots, but that's not the choice shot they want to make. They want to keep them short, compact. Or maybe Dean likes them long, because that was a bit short.
Safeties are a bit limited for Alan here, as he doesn't want to take the cue ball down table because of that one loose red by the left side pocket. We may see one of those frames where all the balls get pushed down to the bottom end of the table here until someone plays a safety where they can't avoid this. You'll see Dean pulling this cue ball back to the top rail. Great shot.
Yeah. Thought one of those reds might have just hampered the angle.
I sense a change in Dean. I think he's ready to go for some shots and feels he's warmed up and ready to go. Just his energy is a little more on point.
Dean, great balls of fury. He knows how to put them in.
I should have warned you that was coming, folks. Now, I'm not the music and film buff that my friend David Burney is with it. Chuck Berry, Great Balls of Fire.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Jerry Lee Lewis. See, like I said, I'm not that guy. I'm sure Chuck Berry did it somewhere in Memphis.
They might have, as you look back in the catalog, sometimes I think a lot of them had their own stuff, but then they covered each other's songs. But Chuck and Jerry were two guys that were not, unfortunately, on that disastrous plane crash with Richie Valens and Buddy Holly and the Big Bopper.
Like I said, I'm not that guy.
But you know, it's kind of funny. I feel like Buddy Holly got a movie, Richie Valens got a movie. Where's the Big Bopper movie? I know we know how it all ends, but it'd be nice to hear Big Bopper's story too.
Like I said. Tina's getting a little bit on a roll here, which is nice to see for him. Maybe not so nice for Alan. But he's playing some good positional shots here.
Well, the old thing in match play snooker is you never really feel like you're in the game until you get that first frame on the board, and there we've
Commentator curse.
Done it again.
I'll be quiet.
It's kind of amazing over the weekend. We've been really cursing when they're potting, but when they play safety, we're bang on.
Yeah. See, now I would think that Dean might even go for this one. Kind of gives him black shape if it was a good enough pot to make. Big black ball off the top rail.
Yeah, if Dean had put that one in, I would start to wonder about, for Alan, is there a safe spot to put the cue ball? Because it seems like Dean's potting from everywhere.
He seems to have made his mind up to be a little more aggressive. And that has just come far enough. Good safety from Dean.
Yeah,
Nice.
I think it's today it's extremely important to get that subscribe function, just because the past few days we've had matches going on and on and on all day, but now getting down to the thin of it, there could be some lulls in between matches.
Yes.
If this one goes a bit shorter, some others might go the distance, so it's a Very handy idea to subscribe to the Snooker Canada page on YouTube.
Yeah. Bit of a log jam at opposite ends of the table there, the table back to us. We're not trying to figure out what he's going to do, and Dean steps up to the table.
I notice sometimes with some players, they don't get right down on the cue. They're up a bit for safety shots.
Particularly when they're playing out of a snooker, you tend not to go right down onto your cue, like chin onto the cue. For safeties, that's a great shot. For safeties, you should probably get down.
Okay.
As much, but ideally you have the same approach, same pre-shot routine for every shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's what builds the consistency and I think it adds to the level of success. If you approach like a golf shot, you approach the shot the same way every time.
Mm-hmm.
We just did a 2-day coaching course in Mississauga here, and we had 7 guys from across the country come and start learning how to coach. And that was one of the things that we stressed, was pre-shot routine, same approach every time. At least then, if you miss the shot, you tend to know exactly why you've missed it.
Mm-hmm.
Because your body feels what's right and what's wrong when you do something.
Yeah, definitely when you come through the ball, sometimes you can feel that twist in the wrist sometimes, and you're like, well, my head was still, my feet were still.
Oh, you feel your body move, or twist your wrist just a bit. Those kind of things, yeah. We know Alan's going for this one. Looks like it's in the side.
Ooh. Oh.
And Dean steps up with a good opportunity here to pad his lead.
Mm-hmm.
Still lots of points left on the table.
Yep. High valued colors aren't too tied up.
No, black is pretty open, and 1 or 2 reds get moved here. Oh, we won't be happy with that. He pulled that back about an extra foot from what he wanted. That should have been an easy black in the side.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just a little disappointed for the moment. Dean nicely eases the blue into the corner pocket. He didn't put a lot of effort into positional play there. I'm not sure what his next red will be.
Yeah, the winner of this match will play the winner of Redat Denka and Phil Snake.
Another good shot by Dean, and unfortunately, no.
Ooh.
A little fortunate there to get away with not going in off, but there was an obscure kiss at this end of the table that directed the cue ball that way. He wouldn't have been playing it there.
And sometimes when the cue ball is going up that way in the table, it could drift a little left or right, but that's because of the nap. These tables are very level. There is no drift to them.
Someone's making the observation on the feed that Dina's putting balls off the light shades. It's a common saying that someone is hitting the ball really well and making lots of shots. That one comes from Pat McCarthy, who was in the tournament and got beaten out in one of the early rounds.
Pat's a pretty good table mechanic too. He's been setting up some tables in the room and stuff like that. In the next season, we're going to be opening up a table mechanic program with Snooker Canada. So hopefully we can get some mechanics coast to coast on Canada.
Alan would have liked that black to be a little closer off the carrot, but looks like he's still going for it. Yep. Sometimes it's hard from the booth to see the exact position of the balls. That one looked easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, obviously the players have the best view, but I don't think we're in a position right now to strap a camera onto their forehead.
You could do that. Get a GoPro of some kind.
Okay, are you going to be the first to volunteer?
No. I need to do other work on my game first. I'd say obviously that red by the pink doesn't go from that position, but no. Nicely done.
See, he had an option of possibly blue, maybe a black that was by the blue, but the red or the brown is a nice short,
it's a
shot.
little closer to the pocket to make it. Maybe he wanted to get onto this side of the table, so he would have this red into the right corner.
Ooh.
And now he's broken up those two reds that were on the right side of the table, so now all of those go in the corner. I suspect Dean may be looking at one of those. Playing the outside one. I lied again. Very nice shot. From where he was to get that position.
Yeah, we had a record high 7 Americans in this competition this weekend. And Renat Denka, just on the table just behind this one, is the only one left. He had a strong run last year at the Richler Cup, being the runner-up when we were out in Shooterville in Burlington. Hopefully all our friends out there are tuning in.
Be a face you'd recognize. I don't think there'll be much here that will tempt Alan. And when there's nothing to shoot at, this is what you do. The main thing on that shot is to make sure that the object ball stays safe. second area is that the cue ball ends up in a place of safety.
Could have done without that cannon into the black.
He hit that red thick. He wouldn't have been trying to play it that way.
Ooh.
Both players are still tentative. Dean is trying to play his way out of the tentative nature of the first game. He's done reasonably well.
Yeah. Friday night, Alan was nailing in those shots backwards, blindfolded, upside down. So
that's a great shot. Great shot by Dean there to get back for a very easy pink. Had a good angle to get around, and he's done very well with that. Playing that cue ball in the gap between the red and the top rail for a relatively easy shot to continue on. It slides by, he's good, I guess. So Dean would be in this case probably favored in this. He's up 30 points with 35 on the table. But the yellow ball is in a position in the middle of that rail on the left-hand side. And Dean's played a very nice safety here. Not quite a snooker, but not one that Alan's likely to go for.
yeah, I think as we've come to know in the Snooker Canada community, that yellow over there is the David Putty yellow.
There you go. Sounds like our friend Roland Colburn is cheering for Dean, telling him to keep it together if he's going to have a good chance here. So there's one Dean Fury fan out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that means he's not cheering for Alan, but seems to be his favorite is Dean. So
well, Dean's doing what he needs to do in this game, that's for sure. There's been some shots that I definitely thought Alan should have had. I think he knows it as well. You see his body language leaving the table.
Alan, recognizing he needed the yellow, as I believe that shot was intentional, because now the advantage is to whoever makes this red. Now with that yellow right over the pocket, sometimes we can't really see from this distance how almost fluked it. Would have been a very big fluke.
Very fortunate not to leave it sitting over the pocket.
Yeah, he hit the near side horn, and the red kicked down the table. So
true. It's a good observation that he did knock that yellow towards the corner pocket. Because if Alan could nip this one, it would definitely sting Dean.
very nice safety.
He's got the snooker.
And the miss rule would be in play here because there are enough points left on the table for Alan to win. So this becomes very important for Dean to hit this and maintain the advantage that he has with points. just missed, and no free ball, so Alan is asking that it goes back.
Yeah, with the glue to the top cushion, that red ball, I think that's a good idea.
Yep. That looks... I think that cue ball was a little bit more to the right, because on this shot Dean can swerve that around the black, and I don't think that was an option.
No, I think it was a full ball snooker.
Yeah. And this is where perhaps, just to be certain, they should have called Larry LaSalle, the referee in the room, over prior to the shot. And Larry would be the one as a referee who has the trained eye to know exactly where that ball would be. And we're not certain either. We'd have to go back on tape and see where that is. And I think they're making the correction now. Much better. It doesn't look like a lot of difference when you move that cue ball a quarter of an inch or half an inch, but...
and he was looking for the spider, not a second opinion.
Yeah. Ooh. He gets second prize there.
$10?
Maybe, because Alan is shooting directly over the black. It's so easy on these shots to impart accidental siding like he just did. It's very hard to make clean contact with a ball when you're shooting so directly over top of something. Dean has the bit of the same issue here. The long rests really aren't an option here for him because of the position of that brown ball, so he'll shoot this out of position and just play safe. Good safety weight. He's missed the snooker, but Alan's not likely to go for this anywhere.
Tough to see from our vantage point if he's got the snooker.
I think Alan will be pretty happy with that. Dean may, he'll come around the left side of that green ball, and he has a chance to make this. Overdid it. And his weight is not good. It's a very makeable ball for Alan. Well, you'd almost think that Alan has the advantage on this one.
Yeah, just that pink is a little issue.
21-point lead. Alan wants that one over again.
Short. Yep.
He did not get up as far as he wanted to make it an easy green. It's now a very tough green. In fact, he was snookered and has gone in off. So when we get all those scores added up, we'll do a quick... If that's right, there's a 23-point lead at this point. So any ball that Dean makes is his frame ball. I don't know if this is tempting enough for him to go for it in the side. Hard for us to see that angle. Looks from here it's makeable. He may just be playing the hook. Smart shot.
Treacherous. Oh.
Very smart shot. No risk involved in that at all. He took all the risk out.
This looks good.
Yep. He's sort of left it partially obstructed here.
Well, Alan is a Canadians champion. Looking at that, getting out of that snooker, it looked like he was ordering a cup of tea. He just stepped up, hit the 2 cushions or 3 cushions, and boom, it's all over.
Again, most of these guys have been around a snooker table for so long, they know all the angles. But you're right, he knew he was going to hit that. Dean may have been a bit fortunate by putting it that close to the blue.
I was hearing through the grapevine that I think a lot of Dean supporters are tuning in today, so hope they're enjoying the action. A lot of friends and family are out there.
This is all about the weight. We're in a great position here where we have a couple of cameras on this table. Now you're getting the view from the second camera. And on this. Okay.
Still just one snooker needed for Alan.
So there's a 26-point lead in this, with 22 points left on the table. So Alan needs one snooker and foul, or a foul, to be able to tie. But he was left in a tough position to be able to play safe, and this is the result.
Ooh. So,
This is a funny game on a Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon in his local pool hall. That ball's in 95% of the time. Here,
yeah, it's a good opportunity to bury the frame.
now the strategic thing that Alan has done here is he's made the brown ball. So now he's 22 points down, and if he gets a snooker on the blue, and he can actually snooker and foul on the blue, he can actually win. He's just double checking the score. There's one less ball on the table to play snookers behind, but he is now in a position where one foul will be enough for him to win the frame if he then ran the colors. So that's a little bit of scoreboard management on Alan's part. He's just trying to figure out the best way for him to get this snooker.
Yeah, just when you think, all right, I've got my mindset, I know what I need to do. Oh yeah, there's a scoreboard I got to think about as well.
Mm-hmm. And again, he's been around the table for a long time, so don't be surprised if he finds a snooker here. This will be a very fine touch shot. And he's left a window.
Mm-hmm.
Cue ball should be good.
Okay.
That's a great shot.
His heart might have been on pause for a little bit as it got closer to that yellow pocket.
But it had hit the rail about 1.5 feet before the pocket, so it shouldn't have gone in. Dean's tactic here might be, as we talked about the other day, just rolling or leaving the blue ball somewhere right over a pocket, right in the jaws of a pocket. Get one more ball off the table. He may not like Ozu. This may... Ow. Alan's in a very good position to lay a snooker here. Just has to figure out all the angles. And he does not want this pink to go in.
Ooh.
And he's missed the snooker.
Yep.
It has
Frame there.
conceded the frame, knowing that Dean would make that ball. So on we go to frame 3. Tied 1 apiece. Saw some good tactics there, some good strategies. Dean came out swinging, made some balls, so seeing lots of things happening in these frames.
Definitely, Dean has helped out his cause, and he's got into the game and it's tied 1-1. So remember, coming up after the third frame, these players are entitled to a 10 to 10 minute interval. Well, they're setting up things here. I just want to let you know some great Snooker Canada news that's coming down the pipe. Next year, we're going to have a full-blown national tour with ranking points and prizes, like free accommodations, because Canada is such a large country, and sometimes that's a tough thing for these players to travel to the various tournaments in our land. It seems like when there's a tournament in Ontario and Quebec, we get a lot of Ontario and Quebec players, and when there's tournaments in Alberta and British Columbia and Winnipeg, there's players from those given areas of the country. So we do want to make it a lot more easier for players to travel more fluently through the country and participate in all types of tournaments, and maybe let their snooker playing help them see different parts of the country. I'm pretty sure a few of these players who've never been out to British Columbia would love to come and see what that lovely land has to offer, and by having free accommodations would really help them out. So always jump on the internet and look at www.snookercanada.ca. You can see the website up there in the top right corner of our telecast. And just keep in touch with that, and you'll find out all the good news that's coming down the pipe with Snooker Canada. This is a good response by Alan to start off. Definitely, if he had taken that last frame, it would have been quite deflating to Dean. But nobody's back is really against the wall just yet, as we're just in frame 3. But an important one. So it's good to ride the confidence of going into the interval, leading 2-1. Doesn't really have the angle to go into the pack there, but there might be a little loose red to the right and bottom of the pack on our screens that he can nip off into this left corner pocket. Ooh.
That's an unfortunate. He's hit that ball really well. a little left or right, so we're going to have the cue ball yet. Potentially something unlikable, and we're going to continue on. Not sure whether Dean would go for that one or play safe. He's,
True, there were reds to either side pocket, so
yeah, it would have been a high risk shot. Certainly a high reward had he made it. This is a better position to leave your opponent. If he makes this shot, good for him. He deserves it. But you may end up with something better than what you have. He passed on that.
Yeah.
A mutual respect society going on here.
for sure. Yes, Roland, we'll try and keep you updated as much as we know on the other tables, but you can also do a nice Google search for CompuSport or download the CompuSport app onto your smartphone, and that has a list of all the brackets and all the scores and updates there. So that's how you can find results on other tables. But we'll do our best, as sometimes we have some people running through the arena and they like to give us updates. So it looks like Alan and Louis over there on table number 4, I think it is. They're tied 1-1.
Looks like Dean has played another tasty safety there. I don't know whether Alan can get past that queen hole to make this. He's obviously taking a very close look at it. He could play off the rail and make it off the rail. I think he's going for this one. Yep.
And that's the Alan of Friday night.
That's a heck of a shot, folks. When you look at what's sitting there, had he missed that, he's leaving many points available. Instead, he putted it dead center. And now, for the moment, has control of the table. I'm thinking he can get to that one in the corner. I'm not certain. His body language says no. Looks like he's playing the combination. And has missed it.
It's always tough when they have a lot of distance between combination balls.
That was a very difficult combination and a very high risk involved, given what he would be leaving. Some players might have hit that at speed, so that if he did miss, the balls wouldn't sit right over the hole. But that was a risk. Dean has left himself a difficult shot here. We'll see where his thinking's at. This is either safety and that's exactly what he's done. Take the points and run. But he's left a shot.
A music man would quote Steve Miller and say, "Take the money and run."
Ooh.
Thought you might come up with that one because you are an accomplished singer, aren't you, David?
I have sung some barbershop chorus, yes. Sung in an old English music hall. All the old Pearlies, all of those.
Yeah, my singing venue is usually what the Spanish say, el shower.
It's funny, I've never heard them call it that before. I've traveled the world. I spent some time in Spain, actually, and
Oh, really?
I've never heard that term. The El Shower.
Did you play any snooker in Spain? Do they have
No, I lived on the beach in Torremolinos for a while when I was in my younger days.
Okay.
I had a little two-bedroom apartment in Torremolinos, right on the beach. You walked out the patio doors and there was sand. Now there's a heck of a leave. That's a tap on the table for a wave of the hand, I guess, as an apology. But it may not be hard enough. It's not. And he's left.
Yeah, that last one looked like Alan did a little tap on the table saying good job, but Dean said no. Whoops, I didn't mean that.
You can see Larry LaSalle sitting in the referee's chair on the right side of our screen there.
Yeah, if we do have actually any Larry LaSalle fans out there, he will probably definitely be more prominent in the final.
Yes.
We'll be having him.
He'll be on the table as a referee, specifically on the table. We'll see the white gloves and the professionalism. And not quite. That almost would be another wave of the hand. There's a bit of a wild swing on Dean's part. There is a thing when you go to hit a ball hard that you really lose some of your control over what will happen when you hit that ball, and this is another miss by Alan. Again, they haven't called Larry over to position that cue ball, so the players handle it themselves. And that is another miss.
It's a game of millimeters.
So, what Dean is saying to Alan here is in the rules of snooker, if you can see a full ball, you cannot play a third time and not hit a ball. So in effect here, if Alan really wants to make sure that he doesn't, actually, and the penalty is that you lose the frame.
Mm-hmm.
So Alan can see both sides. Actually, all you have to do is see the full ball, the center of the ball. He can see that ball up the left rail. He can see a ball to the left of the pack, close to the side pocket on the left side there. So he must hit a red ball this time, or the frame is over. So if he had miscued on that and it went skittering sideways, skittering, there's a word. If it had gone sideways or something like that, he would have automatically lost the frame.
Yeah.
And Dean is aware of the rules, as most of the players are. And as long as you are warned of that, then the rule applies. If Dean hadn't warned him or Larry hadn't come in and warned him, then the rule would not apply. The warning must be given. And Dean is just keeping the safety pressure on here.
And some of our viewers might wonder, how is that possible? How does that happen? But it does happen from time to time.
Yes, even at the pro level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The World Championships are on now, and it's not something you ever expect to happen. But from time to time.
Mm-hmm. Because they're just so concentrated on getting the correct safety to put their opponent in fits that they completely forget that a red ball needs to be hit or the frame is going to be conceded.
This could end up very nice for Alan if that gets by the brown. It did. Now it's Dean's turn to be in safety trouble. You might try a two-rail escape here. Trying to tick that red on the left where the pack used to be. Or you may try and lay it on this top rail. It's laying on the top rail, but he's coming.
Don't think it's got the pace.
Well,
At least he left a red on to the side.
so I think he's made the decision to play from here. It's supposed to put him back. As there are black balls available. And really the purpose of a snooker is to gain advantage, not to force the put back 3 times or whatever. So if advantage is gained, then the more skilled player will take the advantage the first time that he gets it.
Yeah, whereas a novice might be like,
I'll put you back, I'll put you back, I'll put you back. Right? And at the end of the day, they may end up not with a better shot than they would have had the first time. Or a much worse shot.
but Alan saw the opportunity and he's on the brink of making 16 points.
I know when I'm playing in matches and things like that, and you miss, it's a foul and a miss, but there's a very easy shot on, and the player says, "Oh, I'm going to put you back." It's kind of like, what? Why would you do that? But then it's the short-term thinking. It's the 4 points instead of being able to get in the balls, like Alan is here, and he may run 50 points or so, 50 or 60 points from here.
Well, when lightning strikes and I nail a good snooker, I always talk to my opponent. So we're playing pro rules, right? Unlimited foul and miss.
But not when you're in that snooker.
Oh, not at all.
No.
Foul and miss rule is thrown out the window.
That's right. Oh, that's...
No Roland. Lou Fazekas is still at the table. I think they're just taking their interval over there, I believe. He's actually up 2-1 on Alex Zhang.
Oh. That would be a good win for Louis, I would think.
Yeah. The man from Big Nickel Country. Got a lot of players come down from Sudbury.
Yes. Barry Lerone was here for Louis.
Yeah.
Louis. I don't know if there were others or not. If there's the three of them.
I've just met the three, but
two or three are still in the tournament. So.
Maybe we'll have to get up to Sudbury one of these days and see what's going on.
I'm sure Fern and the boys would take good care of us.
Yeah.
Try and take all our money.
I don't have any money, so good luck. The only money I'll have up there is that big nickel. I'll try and take it down.
You work in movies and travel the world.
You know what movies are? An illusion.
Well, Alan has left himself in a tight position here. He's in the I'm making balls mode here, so he's continuing on. Very nice shot.
Yeah, it's interesting when you see when they get in that groove, although they're sometimes just tough pockets.
So 51 points down. That would have been his frame ball. He's now 52 points up, with only 51 points left on the table, so we will likely see a concession at whatever point Alan finishes this run. So the point in fact here is that by Alan taking that opportunity, instead of putting Dean back after that foul, he's in fact made enough points on the table. So all you up-and-coming players, take note of this, because when you get that opportunity, run with it. And then he's played a great shot there, trying to move that red off the rail, seeing if he can get into...
Yeah, it's a great example here. Would you rather have 16 points or 54 points?
And no. So Dean does the math. 43 left on the table.
Dean, are you there?
63.
Yeah, here he is, coming back.
If he could have picked that cue ball up and put it in a worse spot, I don't think he could do it.
Excuse me.
And he will now concede.
So Alan takes a 2-1 lead in this best of 7.
And they'll probably take a bit of a break if they choose to. I don't think either one of them are smokers, but you'll see. They're setting up the ball there. Kind of get the feeling they're playing on.
You never know. Sometimes these guys just set up the table and then they just leave.
Walk away, yep.
Really like to make us look like fools sometimes in their setup time and their shot taking.
I think they do it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
In the background you can see Renaud lining up a shot and doing what he does best.
Yeah, if you guys are liking the live snooker out there, and don't forget next year, or next week, I mean.
Yes.
Next year there's a lot of great events coming up, but next week our crown jewel of the season, the Richler Cup, will be out in Red Deer, Alberta at the Corner Pocket. Really exciting to meet some new friends out there and some old faces. So join us. I believe we'll be streaming that on Q Sports Live, going through Facebook. So, but keep in tuned for snookercanada.ca to find the updates.
Dean has just indicated that they're probably taking a break.
Great. Well, we'll step aside as well. So
take a moment out of these comfy chairs we're in, and we'll be back when they just prior to the breaking off the balls.
So get that coffee brewing, and we'll see you in 5. For
Monte Carlo Billiards is the home of Mississauga for the game of snooker. Whether you are a beginner or an advanced player, if you enjoy the game of snooker, there is no place like it. With world-class professional tables, it is always a good time to drop in. We also offer lessons, leagues, and group functions. Great food, great atmosphere. MonteCarloBilliards.com.
Monte Carlo Inns. We're the first to admit there's no place like home. So let us welcome you to the next best place, where guests feel like regulars, even on their first day. Monte Carlo Inns is your home away from home.
The landscape of snooker in Canada is about to shift to a higher level. We have just one question. Are you ready? The Canadian Snooker Tour has seen a lot of changes in the last 7 years. An increase in player participation, tournaments, and yes, more prize money. 3 words: not satisfied yet. Stay tuned for major announcements to come on the Snooker Canada website.
I'm gonna say you're gonna be up there going, yes. Well, there. I know, but mine are the same. This is the same.
Okay, we're back live. And we've just started the fourth frame. And the first opportunity looks like it's going to Alan. There are lots of seats and availability here if you happen to be in Mississauga and are thinking of maybe coming down to the Monte Carlo. The way it is this morning, there are lots of good angles and spots to watch the game from. But Alan certainly has the first best opportunity here to get started. Played that very well, pulling the cue ball back into the red for a carom towards the pocket. Alan's off to a good start here. Certainly this would give Alan, if he gets into a good run here, gives him a good opportunity to put a lot of pressure on Dean. He's left this one tough, though. It's hard to get the long rests and be able to clear that top red, or the red in front of the red cue ball. So he may have to opt to go the other way, unless he can reach it. It was discovered yesterday this room does not have a long rest, a long spider rest, which is one that reaches over a ball. But this would be an interesting challenge for Ellen to get good contact. And what you're seeing Alan there do is determine whether he has enough cue to be able to reach that ball. It's one thing to reach it, it's another thing to have enough follow through to be able to make contact with the ball. Larry LaSalle is searching the room at the moment for a long spider, but I think this search happened on Friday and we found that there wasn't one in the room. There's Larry going from table to table in the back there. So we're on a minor delay while they chase down some equipment. Looks like it's down to a black ball game over on the table behind us. And Phil Snake is up to the table there. And that's that long black. Very nicely done. That's a double black game over on the far table. They found a long spider. They couldn't find that the other day. This is a very difficult shot that Alan is making an attempt on here. Alan may need to be 2 or 3 inches taller to make this. But he's done it. Well done.
Yes, David, thank you for welcoming everyone back. I just went out for a breath of fresh air, and God, there's a lot of people you got to get through to back into this broadcast booth.
I thought you went for a smoke and a couple of tequilas. Oh.
I don't smoke.
Okay, up in the tequila. It looks like he's okay on that one, on the right. I don't think the blue is in the way for him.
It is kind of a funny little bit, as we were saying the other day about rolling the balls onto the spot, but Alan does lightly put it on it and he gets his head really down for precision spotting.
Yes. I'm also just keeping an eye on that table just beyond. Phil has just made a double black, respotted black game on the far table. I don't know what the game score is there.
They might be on their third frame, but
Phil, of course, plays with great respect for the game, and as he was trying to walk by the table, on this table, he saw that Alan was about to shoot, turned around, and saw that Fern was about to shoot on the other table, and sat down quickly.
And great energy, too.
Yeah.
He's always a very quick feather, and he was quick to jump on the table, but...
Positive, fun. So Alan has built himself quite a tidy lead here, 38 points.
Yeah, it's interesting talking to Phil outside the table when he's in his casual clothes. He's very relaxed, calm. I guess he's one of those guys, as soon as the suit comes on, it's time to get down to business. Do you find that as a good mantra for when you have tournaments, you have your certain suit that you put on, and it's just like, I'm going to work?
Kind of put the vest on, and your attitude becomes more professional. I don't know about professional, but it becomes your focus. When you're dressed properly for the match, your focus is much better. Especially with sort of the green ball with a white finish behind the green. Obviously pretty safe.
I'd say so.
Dean will try and park this in the side of that pack. And just missed. This one may go back. Yep. Now we'll see if Dean knows that trick about picking the spot past the table where you know exactly where to hit. And if he did, I'd suspect that the second or third red on the left side of the pack here would get contacted. It's pretty hard. Got the first one.
And that was a great little contradiction to what we had last frame. Alan saw that he'd missed, and he's, I don't see how I could develop, so he's like,
that's right.
Well, I'll go get some more points.
And the result here is that he's now been left a good shot. A couple of quick shots here, and then he's back in again. He's also hitting the ball quite confidently. There's no just rolling that pink in. It was hit nice and solidly. Not hard, just solid.
It does happen with these early morning matches that sometimes it takes a little bit just to get the body woken up, ready to rock.
Most of these guys are night hawks. You know, they're more likely to be playing snooker late at night than at 9:30 in the morning on a Sunday morning.
True.
So the brains are in gear now.
But really, on a Sunday morning, is there anything better to do?
No.
Exactly.
The one thing that I noticed with Alan is that his energy very seldom changes around a table. He walks around pretty confidently. Ooh. Well. This frame is not safe yet. There's 83 points left on the table. Ooh. Dean needed a good leave off of that miss, and I think he's got it.
Yeah.
There's nothing obvious that's going to go anywhere, so he may get one more chance.
Yeah, I don't think Alan has a pot per se on. So it's kind of those iffy kind of things with open up that pack. Dean gives himself a chance if he can get into the balls,
right.
But if his opponent Alan gets in the balls, then it easily could be lights out.
Alan has just kicked that black a little safer. It was pretty much makeable from anywhere on the table. Now you need to be in the right spot to make that black ball. So nice finish there for Dean. Threatening to go in that corner pocket, but shaved that one. So he obviously hit that thinner than he wanted to do, hence the cue ball traveled further. Now, is this enough for Dean to be tempted? It's good out. Broke the black ball back out. We may see a few more of these shots before this series ends, where they're chipping the red balls over to the left-hand side of the table. Goes another one. And the problem is there isn't really any other shot to take here, so we're likely to keep seeing them pushed that way.
Yeah, not even a two-way shot is on, really. That one red that's open on the right risks a chance of going out the top cushion and canning into
all that stuff on the left-hand side. Well, just to make sure he hit both of them that time. And just too hard.
Does that red go by that black?
Not the one closest to the black. It definitely doesn't. And the one on the top rail, side rail, they'll leave that. Here goes another one.
And then there was one left out in the open.
And I suspect it will be over there pretty soon, unless if Dean can see that one closest to the pocket on the left side, that might be tempting enough to try, and that would change the dynamics of this game. He can dig in and make this one. Now that's a great shot. Now comes the second biggest shot of this frame for Dean. This one is makeable, but challenging.
Is it there?
No.
Ooh. I think that might have been his last shot in the frame.
Well, depends. Yeah, he did come up enough off the rail for that, so. Yep. Alan won't be in a hurry to move the pink and the three reds over there. He'll play position on one of the two loose ones. Did that very well. $63 points ahead with 67 on the table. And now it's 59 points left on the table. This frame is, as they say, done and dusted. Whoever they are.
It's been tucked in and it's been all ready to go to bed. All you got to do is make sure you set up the alarm clock for the next next frame, because it'll be a big one for Alan.
When these guys have a lead, all of a sudden you see a little more of what they're capable of. You know, in terms of positional shot, this will be. Whoa!
That almost came into our living room.
Wherever that black ball ended up.
I don't know.
Larry LaSalle will give it a good cleaning.
I'm not sure what direction that is. Is that Winnipeg or is that Montreal?
It was on its way to Red Deer, I think.
True. It's excited for the Richler Cup.
That's right. Let me go. As it sits right now, Dean would need Alan to commit 4 fouls, 4-point fouls. Alan's going to make this ball if he's trying to make the ball.
Yeah, I know there was a mercy rule in the tournament.
After all the reds are off the table.
That's it.
Yes.
Correct.
Because, and the reason for that is because with a red ball still on the table, you can get a free ball. Where every ball on the table becomes a red. And if you make it, you can make it black, and you could play another hook. So in fact, you could get 12 points.
Yes.
Right. With a free ball, so. That's a great shot.
Ooh. Friday night, that would have been in. Alan was potting those like nobody's business.
Now, the big challenge for Dean here is that all the reds are down at the other end of the table, and for him to really have a chance here, he has to bring the cue ball back up every time he makes a red. So in this case, he's got it up here. Given the distance he had to travel, that's a great shot for black position.
Oh.
And the concession comes in.
So Dean Fury's back is up against the wall. He trails 3-1 to Alan Whitfield in this quarterfinal match. Frame 5 will be coming up. It's an important one. Can Alan improve his chances and move into the semi-final of this Canadian Open? Frame 5 coming up in a short few moments.
Yeah. So of course, both players are pretty quick to want to get this moving forward. Dean, so that he can get back in stroke and reclaim some position here. Alan wants to continue while he's hot.
Sure, I wonder what's going to happen to these players when we start putting commercials, maybe 1 or 2 in between. Frames.
Well, it will be as you see it when you watch the professionals play in the world. They'll wait.
Yeah.
The ref will be in touch with the referee, either by hand signal or headset, and we'll say the commercials are running, and the players will have to wait. And as we deliver a better product and get this the way it should be in the near future, all of those things will fall in place and the players will get used to it.
I could see a funny instance maybe happening. They might be like, well, we're not professionals. Why are we putting commercials on? Hey, what's wrong with this table? Why isn't it level? Well, you're not professionals.
A lot of the development as we get the game back up to where it should be in Canada will be step by step. We were all sitting around last night talking about referees and talking about different things and where this game is headed and where we need it to be for televised tables and all of those things. And you'll see improvements as we go from year to year. Oh, look at this. Is it hard enough? No.
Yes, as I was actually, when we had a little break late afternoon, I got in touch with my father, and actually I'm grounded because I told him I couldn't operate a cell phone, but he could land on an aircraft carrier. But he
David
has
is
said
12.
He is. I am 12-year-old with a 38-man's voice. There's a movie idea. But he has always turned into the events, and he has seen great progression from our beginnings. Well, the first one that I was involved with out in Montreal, when he had no knock to
Yes.
Guy or any of the teams that we've worked with. It's just, as you say, bit by bit, we just keep improving ourselves, learning the technology.
It doesn't happen overnight.
It's like a snooker game. You're not going to be a pro right out of the gate. It takes time, dedication, hard work. And we're all working hard because we want to give a good product to our great viewing audience who tune in throughout the world at any times a day.
Oh. We know what he tried. I don't know that Alan will have him step up and try that one again. Came frighteningly close. He played that off the top rail to try and make that red over the side pocket.
Not sure what has happened on the table behind us.
I think that Phil Snake may have won that one. He won the double black game. I know that. So I believe I saw them walk away with their cues.
Yeah.
So that might mean that Alex Zhang is out.
Renette Van
Oh, Renette. I'm sorry, Renette is out. And that Phil Snake has moved through to the semifinals. Nope, not yet.
Yeah, we've got a great runner in the room. He's just letting me know that Fern is up 3-1, and Louis Vazikas is still up 2-1. Well,
someone is furiously writing notes to us here.
well, there's a scorecard right there from Renat that he's holding.
That far.
So Renat took Phil Snake out 4-1. So.
Oh, okay, the other way around. Okay.
So Phil probably did win that black
He
ball
won
game.
the double black game. That would have been the game that he won. Okay.
Thank you to one of our volunteers in the room that just walked around the room very unauspiciously and just got our updates on all those scores. So we thank you very much. And Renat will play the winner of this game.
Dean has unfortunately left another red over a hole. So Alan is first good opportunity here, I think. That hasn't been fortunate to get a good position on a color. He'll move the blue off the rail and play safe. Fortunate if he gets away with this. Never meant to crash into those reds after contact, but managed to get down to him.
Danny Fern is playing Lopsang right now, and he's up 3-1. And the winner of that Fern Lopsang match will play the winner of Alex Zhang and Louis Vazikas. It's one of those things again. Is it Vazikas, Vazakis? Dazn, Dazone, Tomato, Tomato.
I don't know.
Okay.
I could guess. Do you want me to guess?
Sure.
Okay. Physicus.
Okay. Because you know what he is in Spanish.
Danny McWilliams has asked us if Tom Finstead played in this tournament, and Tom did not make it out to this one. I believe he's playing next week in the Richmond Cup.
I would think so. It's just a short drive down the road from Edmonton.
For him, it's a much easier place to get to. But Tom was not in this one.
Yeah, Tom, I think about 3 weeks ago, had traveled out to China to play in a tournament.
Oh.
So, yeah. These guys aren't professionals. There's still bills to be paid and stuff like that. So sometimes you got to pick and choose a few of your tournaments. I'm pretty sure all these players would love to travel throughout the great land of Canada and play in every tournament. But if they did that, they might not have hot water when they come home.
Or wives.
Snooker players are married?
I don't know. This could be a good result. Not quite. It's good safety. He's played it well. Relatively easy return to the bulk area, which he's done very well.
Yeah, that's
All these balls are heading to the left side again.
quite a cluster over there. Except for one lonely red on the rail over there.
Which is not of much interest to anybody right now. Dean took a chance there in playing that one. I think his intent was to break that block out.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that. But in the meantime, because of the angle he had to play that on, he ended up cannoning into that red that was on the right rail. Hence his cue ball didn't get down table, and he's let Alan in.
And it does look like Alan is on the right side, the pro side,
Yep.
David Putty side of the blue. Roland, I'm not sure who is playing on the TV table, but that is scheduled for 1 p.m. But if you're subscribing to our channel on the YouTube, you will get some notifications of when we go back live.
And I think once we get to this level, even if we were able to put the matches on a little earlier, I think we're going to hold to the time to a certain degree so the players get a break, so that we don't end up with the situation that we ended up with Dan Bizanet yesterday, where he played a 4.5-hour match and then turned around and had to play pretty much about 15 minutes later into another 3-hour match. So it wasn't the best for him.
No.
As this game, the psychologically, mentally draining side of this game gets very hard when you're playing 8 hours.
Yeah, we want whoever those competitors may be, I'm not being biased to any, but we want them to be fresh and ready to, both of them being at their top game for the final. Don't want them dragging their knuckles.
It's a nice attempt on Dean's part. I think he's just missed.
But Alan's looking pretty strong. Renat with a 4-1 win over Phil Snake. Phil Snake's no slouch. He definitely had a battle with Gerard Morrison yesterday.
Alan's lining up a shot here. It is either a 2-ball combination direct into the corner, or it may even be off that. He tried it for sure. Pulled the trigger pretty quickly on it.
Yeah, probably being up 3-1, you can chance your luck a little bit at these shots.
You can chance it. You want to be pretty. You want to still contain your opponent. You don't want to. Challenge for Dean here. He had a number of shots he can play, but the question is, where is his color going to come from? I think I see what he's looking at. Playing that second red over and drawing the cue ball back onto the red. He missed the carom, but ends up in good position for shape on the pink. Nicely done.
Yeah. Get some great camera angles from these cameras.
And that's certainly one of the things that we're moving ahead on in terms of our technology, is that quite often we've just had the one camera, and now we're starting to get cameras from different angles.
Soon we'll have people on the cameras, so they can move around on their rotating tripods.
Yes. This looks to me like Dean's trying a long distance combination. He made the pink, but didn't position himself in a spot where he could. Ooh, he's tried off the side rail. It's all about where this finishes.
Don't think that good. It's fortunate that, well, yeah, he's got that red by the black.
Yeah.
So.
Dean certainly missed an opportunity there to step up and make a number of points to secure this frame, but there's still lots of balls and lots of time.
There's a good philosophy to win at this game. Just stay at the table.
If your opponent is sitting in his chair longer than you are, you're probably winning.
But sleeping on the table doesn't count, because I've tried that.
It doesn't work for winning, no.
No. It just works for a large bill from the pool hall owner. I do turn off the lights, though.
Maybe it's the clubs you're hanging out at.
You gotta come out to the Wild West, Mr. Putty.
I lived out there for years. I'd love to have gone back out, but life happened in the Far East.
Yeah, speaking of these, hopefully we've got some great friends tuning in from the Maritimes. I know we've had that at past events, and boy, that's a place I'd love to get out to do a snooker tournament. So Maritimes, Halifax, New Brunswick, Charlottetown, Newfoundland, get your snooker ready, because we'd love to come out there and pay you a visit.
So Roland has checked CompuSport for us, and according to him, the next TV table is the winner of Louis Fazekas and Alex Zhang. Whoever wins that against the winner of Lob Sang and Fernloyer. So I'm not sure where those matches are at right now in game scores, but
But this is looking like it's getting closer and closer to Alan Whitefield against Renat Dahnka. But I'm pretty sure Dean won't have to say something about that.
Something about it's not over till it's over. Or...
Something about some woman singing or something like that.
But I think Alan has just got fortunate here that I don't think Dean can see that ball. There is a shot here, though. And Dean's just probably in just the mood to play it. Watch where this cue ball goes. No, he played the red onto it. Okay. I thought he might carry him off the red and bring the cue ball across.
Either way, both a tricky shot.
Yes.
So Dean's not going down easily. He's given up the good fighting chance. But he can't be too sloppy. He's got to be tactful with his shot making.
Well, Dean needs to make a nice shot on this pink. He's still within reach. What a great shot that was. Nicely hit. Hit it with a lot of cue ball safety position in mind there. He wasn't going to step out and take a silly shot, but he wanted the points. I think he's hidden the one over the right-hand pocket. He's hidden the one on the top rail behind the yellow, and left the only one for Alan to shoot is the one that's on the side rail on the left.
It's going to be a tough decision for our programming director because both semifinals will be fantastic matches.
That's a really unfortunate result for Dean. Obviously, from where he is, there isn't a color ball that goes anywhere. And with reds at opposite ends of the table, it's a little hard for him to play a roll-up on the green, but may be possible. So he played the safety on the one down by the green ball pocket and left the one up by the black for Alan to hit.
Yeah, I think you made a great point yesterday, David. It's the odd frames you want to win. And here in the fifth frame, definitely it's a frame Alan would like to win to punch his way into the semifinals. But Dean needs a win here to stay alive.
Well, he's left himself a good angle on the blue here to get down for that red. Is it hard enough?
Well, I'm looking in the deep background and seeing Fern Loyer's case on the table. So unless they played
Is he putting away happy or is he putting away mad?
well, he was up 3-1 when we got the update. So unless Lobsang had some razor fast
Okay. All right.
frames, I think Fern Loyer from Sudbury, and he's getting a handshake from his fellow Sudburian, Barry Laurent.
That's a great shot by Dean. And the miss is certainly on in this case. Lobsang has just walked by our commentary booth here, with a bit of a sad look on his face. So we can probably confirm by that Alan has fouled by hitting the brown ball. This is one where they might have brought Larry over in advance. But
I guess that's the only time really when you see a little bit of emotion from Lobsang when the match is done. He's a pretty calm, cool, collective individual when
he
he's at the
doesn't look
table in the
upset
match.
or anything. He's won his share of tournaments and matches, and he knows that sometimes you lose. So Dean has got one 4-point foul from this. And the second time, Alan wasn't likely to make that mistake again, but so if Dean were to make this red, the only challenge, and I guess initially, is getting position on a color, but then the yellow and green are kind of glued together at the far end of the table from where we're viewing. Yellow might go in the right-hand corner. So heck of a result from there.
The red wants to join the party.
Yeah.
Looks like one of the traffic lights you ran
So
earlier this
what
morning.
this actually accomplishes is this now, that will get broken up.
And nicely done by putting that yellow safe to that ball cushion.
But the only thought, though, is that Alan needs the yellow as well. He only has a 14-point lead. So with any color that he may make, he needs the yellow ball as well. So it's a tough ball to continue any break with. And nope, I thought it might come off the rail there.
Yeah, it could be the deciding ball in this frame. That yellow up on the ball cushion.
The rest of the balls are exposed and ready to be made in easy positions. Mm. 15 points in it. Be 18. And he's moved the yellow off the rail.
Yeah, I was just thinking, does he have the angle to move that yellow, or is he just going to roll it by the green?
Yellow and green to secure the frame, I believe. Decided not to take the chance.
No.
Dean needs to make all the balls to win the frame. Alan will need 2.
Fortunate kiss off that blue, the yellow.
They kissed off all three of the major balls there and ended up being able to see it. You might be able to see paint on that yellow on the right-hand side.
Just a little funny going over that green ball.
Not an easy hit. If he hits this at the right speed off 2 rails, he has a chance of either returning the snooker behind the pink or the black. Right, that might be what he's looking at here.
Ooh.
4. And he's going to put him back.
It's a good angle of seeing his path to come down to this yellow.
See how Dean's chin is high off the chin. He's looking more at the angle. This is typically the way people will play out of snookers. Is it hard enough? That's a good hit. Alan, being the crafty player that he is taking full advantage of the advantage position that he's playing from here, where he's controlling the table. Dean is having to respond to these snookers.
Just an update with the Zhang and Vizicus match. It's 2-2 now over there, and they're in their 5th frame, so an important one over there.
Now, if Dean were to not make contact with the yellow ball here, the miss rule is now no longer in play because of the difference in points, and he has missed. Maybe? Yep. Both these players are very experienced and know the importance of the point spread in that decision, so they didn't even think of putting it back.
You might be watching another semi-finalist. Ooh. Dean is not going quietly.
Alan has put another snooker on the table. Dean has just touched it beautifully.
Yeah, he had to be in danger of the push shot, but a lot of people ask what the push shot is. David, with your fountain of knowledge of the game, as I've set you up.
Well, basically a push shot is any time the cue ball stays in contact with the object ball for beyond the initial contact. So if 2 balls are very close together, you really have to tick off the cue ball, or tick off the object ball, so that the cue ball moves away from the object ball and you don't have a double contact or continuous contact. Sometimes it's hard to see, and the best way to determine whether it's whether it's a push shot is by the sound of it. If you hear a double click, then you're likely that it has been a push shot. Dean has. But there's one.
Yeah, I always wondered
He
about
still
that.
needs one more.
Wondered about that push shot. And thanks for clearing up, because I never heard anything sound like, I don't think I'm pushing the shot. But when you say there's a double click,
Yes.
that's a great thing to know.
Roland is making a comment regarding the dress and with regards to bow ties. And the rule that was laid out by the tournament director here was that bow ties were only going to be required if in the final. So whoever makes it to the final has to find a bow tie in their cue case. And that's the thing with a dress code for tournaments, is there is actually nothing in the rules about what dress code is. Each time a tournament director decides what it will be, the players are notified, and if they don't meet the dress code, they don't get to play. So that's all information that is pushed out before the tournament.
All right.
So Dean is in a position based on the score that he still needs one snooker and foul, one foul. And now he's left himself 2 balls with which to do it. This is for his tournament life. Alan is just going to make sure he doesn't leave a shot where he may get snookered. Needed a lot more pace on that one. So Alan is just in the mode of pushing the pink ball towards any pocket that he can leave it right in front of. Dean's job here is to find a way. Nope, that's not going in. Dean's job is just to find a way to get a snooker from it. And Alan's going to make that as tough as he possibly can. Because when a ball is like that right over the jaws of a pocket, it's really hard to plan your snooker. Can see what he was thinking there.
It was on the line.
Definitely had an idea of what he was trying to do. Again, right over the hole, or... So now the challenge is, how does Dean keep that out of the pocket? Probably off the bottom rail first with a whole bunch of left-hand siding. Or actually from that angle it's a bit different.
Oh,
and here
knock
comes,
it off the table.
here comes the handshake. Alan Whitfield wins 4-1. And we'll see him in the semifinal.
Yes, he'll be playing Renat Denka. So we're going to step aside. We believe that match will start at 1 p.m. Whether it will be on the TV table, we're not too sure just yet. It'll be either that one or the winner of the Louis Fazekas Alex Zhang match taking on Fern Loyer. So just make sure you subscribe to the Snooker Canada page on YouTube, as you'll get notifications when the match starts. We're going to step aside, so we'll see you in a few moments for the semi-final match number 1.
See you soon. Thanks.
Monte Carlo Billiards is the home of Mississauga for the game of snooker. Whether you are a beginner or an advanced player, if you enjoy the game of snooker, there is no place like it. With world-class professional tables, it is always a good time to drop in. We also offer lessons, leagues, and group functions. Great food, great atmosphere. MonteCarloBilliards.com.
Monte Carlo Inns, we're the first to admit there's no place like home. So let us welcome you to the next best place, where guests feel like regulars, even on their first day. Monte Carlo Inns is your home away from home.
The landscape of snooker in Canada is about to shift to a higher level. We have just one question. Are you ready? The Canadian Snooker Tour has seen a lot of changes in the last 7 years. An increase in player participation, tournaments, and yes, more prize money. 3 words: not satisfied yet. Stay tuned for major announcements to come on the Snooker Canada website.